Trucker Podcast. My name is Sebastian.
My name's Jose, guys.
How's it going, man?
Good, brother.
Good. It's been a while. We haven't had an episode for a week, I think. And do you want to talk about why? What's been happening? Oh, so you know what? Hold on. I really want to keep this straightforward. Today, we're going to start a new series called Trucks Worth Buying. And I don't know what that's what's going to be called when we've come up with something else.
Yeah, possibly.
But that's the idea for now. So what we want to do is look at trucks that are we're looking for if you're looking to buy or switch, and we're going to deep dive or semi-deep dive into what the trucks are, and we will talk about some of the details and why are they worth buying in prices. So, but before we start, you want to talk about how we got covered or what's been happening?
With the snow?
Yeah.
Oh, that was a nightmare, y'all. When was that? We had the snow from Saturday, Sunday, Monday morning too, right? A little bit?
Yeah. And I was traveling. I came back to Chicago and it was just like completely covered. And I came from Texas. It was like super nice.
Why'd you come back, right?
I know. And so what's been happening in the shop, and what...
Besides that, we've been really busy. We've been... we had a couple we had that shift failure on one of ours, the DOT trucks.
Yeah, we did. And then we had a couple other projects that we're just so backed up right now that we're keep adding. We're hiring, but we need somebody that knows what they're doing, like advanced tech.
Yeah.
We don't need. We have, basic skill level, like level 1. I would say we have plenty.
Yeah, we're good on those guys.
Maybe level 3 or 4. But I would say, other than our dirty window,
should have cleaned it up.
We have to clean it. There's a lot of things going on in the shop, so we haven't had a walk around yet, but we'll do a walk around in summer when it's nice. Yeah, when it's all done. But we are changing a few things. It's just dirty from all the construction and what we're doing. But midwinter. Issues, typical stuff. Our fleet is getting beat up by the number one issue
is DEF
quality.
Yeah, DEF quality.
Yeah.
We haven't really had any fuel freezing up, like gelling up. We haven't had that issue.
No,
surprisingly.
Surprisingly, and I feel like we're staying on top of it. And Volvos were always good with that.
Those Series 60, we haven't had issues with them. Those are a little bit tougher in the winter.
But I would say the DEF issues are probably
that's what's getting us right now.
Yeah, but okay, let's talk about our truck number 1 that we want to talk about, which I think both agree is a good truck, and I think it's worth looking for.
That's gonna be a Volvo VNL.
No, that's funny. That's a funny thing. No, don't buy Volvos.
They're expensive.
Yeah. No. We should. We've had a decent amount of Q&A come through. We still have to get that somehow set up, because there were a couple emails that I actually got, and I will reply to you guys for sure. And people are buying have issues. One guy had DEF quality code. He just emailed me 2 days ago, and
Would you let him know?
I didn't, but I'm going to reply to those emails today. And I told him just go and dump the DEF and put a new one from a store.
Yeah.
I did talk to my ops, and I told them to actually specifically look at the trucks that we have issues with, where they're getting DEF, because that might be the issue, the location.
Yeah, we had one that it derated 2 weeks ago, roughly.
Yeah.
And then after that, we pulled it in the shop. We drained the fluid, new filter, new fluid. Ran good for 2 weeks. Boom. I guess he filled up fluid at the same spot.
Yeah, because they're used to their truck stops. They have their drivers
in their route,
favorite
right?
truck stops. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the truck we're looking for. We what model?
It's gonna be a Kenworth T600.
Yeah. So the good and bad and why is we're looking for. Let us know what you guys think about this idea. We will. We have a couple more that we're preparing, but we want to talk about specifically this one. What do you think?
These are really good trucks. I like them. I like the only downside. I'll be honest with you, is the space in the between the driver and the passenger seat. I know, and the shifter. It's really not there.
It is. It is because it's I would say the transition, and that's a good segue to history about that a little bit, because it was in production since 1984 up to 2007. So, it comes from that old classic design, and you have those narrow cabs.
Yeah.
And then you had the big sleeper, which we'll talk about in a second too. But that's probably I know what you're saying, but it is hard to get.
Even just to get to the back of the sleeper, it's a little.
It is, yeah. Have you driven one?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, me too. What do you think about the slanted nose?
It's nice. You get a good view of the road.
Yeah,
compared to that
it
W900.
Seems like you're sitting very high, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
It's. I mean, I never, other than T2000, which is the same thing. I don't say it, because like classics, you have that big nose. With this one, just feels like you're sitting on top of a mountain.
Yeah, what I like about those is when they come with that studio sleeper, either the W900 or these T600s, you get that big couch setup in the back.
Yeah,
that's really nice.
So let's talk about history a little bit of the truck. They started in 70s. They were like, hey, let's design a model that's fuel efficient, right? That was the main reason they Kenworth started developing that truck. And you feel free to hop in whatever, we got everything prepped in front of us, but feel free to hop in about anything that you feel. But the number one thing was the fuel efficiency and the regulations that were coming. In the 80s, the length regulation changed. So they used to, the K100s, the cabovers was a big thing. You know how they started building they were going the same style as Europe with taller cabs. Yeah. And all of a sudden the regulations changed, and they were just like, well, it doesn't matter anymore. We can just actually build a conventional truck.
Okay.
And after wind tunnel testing, when they actually designed the cab, it showed tremendous improvement as far as aerodynamics, right? Do you want to talk about that?
It's definitely way more aerodynamic than a W900, 379, Freightliner Classic. Like we mentioned, that whole design on the hood is more aerodynamic. Yeah. The grille itself, it's not 100% flat like a square setup.
Yeah, they when they tested it, it was 20% more fuel efficient than W900.
So it's not always good to go for the looks, right? I mean, if you're out there to make some money, then you got to go fuel efficiency.
Yeah. But that's a lot. 20% is a lot.
20%, yeah, it's definitely a
lot. And the design also meant that it required less horsepower to operate it, to
get it going, right?
Yeah. So that's fuel economy right there. And I mean, that's not number one the reason. We've talked about it, I think, in the past, where classics will have
their downs and
but they will. I feel like manufacturers are going to stop making them eventually
because of the whole aerodynamic situation.
Did you see? You saw what Mack did with their. They don't know what to do with. Did you see the Anthem?
Yeah, I seen that one.
That looks like you're trying to make an aerodynamic truck out of a classic. I'm not saying they're good or bad trucks, but this is just something that
the guys are observed.
Yeah, and I mean, I like the truck. It's it has the Volvo drivetrain.
The M drive or the I-Shift? Which one?
But what else? What else in the history you wanna add?
So from 90 to 94, they had the Aerodyne sleeper. Aerodyne cab.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what we got in that 4300 in the back.
Yeah.
So basically it's separates from the cab to the sleeper. And obviously we've seen, I don't know, probably on this older truck, we're going to have some water leakage. We're probably going to have to seal it up a little bit. That's the only downside on those.
Yeah. So they changed the design into the Aerodyne.
Yeah, the Aero cab went in place in 95 to 07.
Yeah. And that was which was, I feel like, the move for a lot of people. And then they also had the sleeper. I don't know when the studio sleeper came in. It was a bigger option.
I would say probably
around
like
the
the
same time.
97 around there.
Yeah, but it was a success. It was by mid '80s. It was a big success for Kenworth, and they kept building it to 2007, which we'll get to in a second. But there were the 1990 and 1994 was T600A if you're looking at listings, and then the two T600B was 1995 to 2007. Which we have nothing really changed there. The aero cap, like you mentioned, that was the biggest change.
What I have here is the hood change as well.
Mm-hmm.
In my career, I haven't really seen many 94s, so I didn't really notice that.
Yeah.
But
that it was a one piece.
Yeah, that it was a one piece, and then now they went to a 3-piece hood, so it's easier for repairs. Like we mentioned on the Volvos, they sell it out in 3 pieces.
Yeah, and I think early 2000s they put the window in the door.
Although the daylight door, those are nice. Those are really nice. A bunch of guys were doing the upgrading them. Like let's say they had like a 98, they were buying 2000 doors, swapping them over.
Yeah,
they like the looks.
Yeah, it looks nice, and it just makes the cab lighter. I think it
cleaner, right?
Yeah, it looks a lot cleaner. So engine options. Before we head out to next thing, what are the engines that we suggest we would look for? What do you think? Because I know you have a listing. I brought my listing, but what's some of the setups that
they came with the 12.7 Detroits, N14s, Caterpillars. Later on, they came out with those Cummins, the ISX.
Yeah.
So there's quite a few options out there, but I would say obviously pre-emissions. That'd probably be your best bet.
Yeah.
The only downside on these trucks, now that I remember, is the fuse box. They like to corrode.
Really?
Yeah.
Due to what, the location?
The location, yep. So you got your windshield up in the left-hand corner, and they like to leak, and it drips down to the fuse box. It's right by your clutch pedal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they like to corrode right there, and it gets pretty expensive. Sometimes I seen them cause fires, and then you got to rewire everything. New fuse box, that could be pretty expensive.
Yeah, so something to look for when buying them.
And it's really easy. You just open the door right by the clutch pedal. You remove the fuse panel. If you see any green corrosions, and it's.
Yeah, you would think manufacturers will learn about, since they were making that mistake in the 80s.
Yeah, 379s had the same issue. They still did. Yeah,
the Threadliners have still the same issue.
With the leaking, yeah, you got that.
Yeah, that's why I don't know. You would think they would look back and say, "Hey, this didn't work."
Reseal it.
But that only tells you how much actually they're redesigning key elements on the truck throughout the lifetime of the truck. They're really not. You know, like once something they I mean, it looks like they've just kept for whatever reason. Because Volvo, I'm looking at Volvo right now. I mean, it's just a lot smarter design and what.
I guess it all comes down to the fuse location. You know, Volvos, we got them up on the center dash. There's really no way any water's gonna cause any corrosion unless you spill anything. But that's
and
not
then
gonna cause anything.
On the inside you have the neat box that nothing gets to it.
Yeah.
But under the hood.
And on those like we were mentioning on those 379s, Kenworths, those W900s. You're right by the clutch pedal. You're going out in the snow. You got salt on your shoes, and it's just gonna drip right by the fuse.
Yeah, it gets nasty there very quickly. And dripping from the firewall down and
all the way down.
Yeah. So, okay, setups as far as engines, like we said, our favorite. What would you look on? What engine what setup would you look for?
I get a 34. I get a Cat 3406 or an Acer.
Of course, because you're a cat guy.
Of course.
I would do the Cummins.
You go N14 or ISX?
N14 or ISX. I would say the 12.7 Detroit. That's a boring answer, so I'm not going to say that.
Yeah.
But that's obviously a bulletproof engine, and they did come with them. And you can then spec it with any transmission you really wanted, because 1310 and 10s were available.
Yeah, there was 10s, 13s, 18s, and then you had the automated manuals in there as well.
Yeah. Which I would stay
away from that.
Yeah. We still have those on some of our early Volvos, and they're working fine. But you don't want.
No.
I would not recommend the automatic manual for sure. So in 2006, eight, the big issue happened with emissions, and they redesigned it to they renamed it and updated the model to the T660, and they started using the Packard engines.
What do you think about those 660s?
They look great, but just because the
whole emissions.
So
I like the dash on those. Obviously, it's a huge upgrade from the 07 to an 08.
Yeah, the design is very nice. It's a very nice truck, but I don't know. I would say past 2008, you start have to think you're looking at the DPF and with that, the Cummins, maybe the Packard, I wouldn't
even mess with it.
I wouldn't mess with it.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at that one, then the Cummins, but then just do your homework around the emissions on that. And they other than the DPF, we had an episode. I don't remember if we had it specifically on that ISX. We should maybe do one when the emissions were starting. Because there's that switch. Remember, we did talk about that.
Yeah, we did.
Between the dual
probably
overhead cam and single.
Very beginning, right?
Yeah. So that's these still have the dual overhead cam.
Yeah.
So we should do a separate episode on that. But okay, we got some listings. Any fun facts? I couldn't find anything other than the Department of Transportation awarded Kenworth the National Award of Advancement of Motor Vehicle Research and Development in 1994. It's awesome to get a DOT award. Wouldn't that be awesome? Well, we got listings. We looked at some listings, and I wanted to see the prices right now.
That's pretty high up there for the 07.
What do you got? What's your spec?
I got a 07 T600, 900,000 miles. It has a Cummins ISX, and that's going for 29,000.
29,000.
29,000, yeah.
What does it say in the description? Was it overhauled?
The description says it was overhauled at 600,000.
Okay. With a current mileage of what?
900. So it got like 300,000 on the in-frame.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, though that's the look at mine. 07 as well, T600. Mileage 918,000 with the Cummins and 475 horsepower. Overhauled at 614.
That's the same one.
I know.
Oh.
I was checking if you were paying attention.
You told me you had printed out 2 different listings.
No, I did.
All right, cool.
I wanted to look at that one. So, I have a Cat T600. It's $38,000. It's a T600, 1.4 million miles, with a Cat engine. Major repairs 215, oil cooler overhaul, engine overhaul at 1.19, so 1.2 million overhauled in 2016. A lot of work done, tie rods.
But he's asking
$38,000.
That's 10,000 more.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna be paying 38,000, I might as well just buy a W900 or something more classic for the price. But then I'm gonna lose the
spend
fuel
more
efficiency.
on fuel.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. I would say if everything that was done is legit and you can show it, then
you would pay 38,000 for that? I wouldn't.
Of course not. It's high. I wanted to see the difference in prices, but every good model I've looked at is in that range of $30,000.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy money right there.
You would used to buy them for teens.
Yeah, 15s.
Yeah. But they're still worth looking for. I think, the listings we're looking at are obviously high. But there's Facebook Market and other ways, Craigslist, that you can still find them, and they're not that overpriced.
They're not that overpriced, but I did look at some with my father because he was looking at some, and they had like a 1.5, and they were asking 17,000, like you said, in the teens. But they're like 1.5, 1.4.
Yeah, without overhaul.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as soon as it has work done,
you still got to put in.
Your dad has that T2000, no?
T2000, but he had a T600 before that.
Okay. I love those trucks, but what's going on with it? How does he like the T2000?
He loves them. I don't. I hate the interior. I hate
design.
The design.
Yeah,
It just feels like you're in a bubble. It's
yeah,
just
it
really
is,
weird.
Yeah. It's like yeah, it is. I like the T600 better.
He picked them up for good price. That's why he bought like 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
He picked them up for like $9,000 a couple years ago, and they had like 850,000.
That's awesome.
He picked them up from New York.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it was like a fleet that pretty much what you did with those white Volvos. When the fleet goes out of business or whatever.
Yeah,
that's what he
awesome.
did.
Yeah, those are the question is are they worth? They're worth overhauling and they're worth rehabbing, but the problem is you're getting the cost up there, because if you're gonna overhaul that Cummins or that Cat, even it's gonna cost you a pretty penny, and you're looking at a $40,000 to $50,000 truck.
Exactly.
So you would have to address everything, and then you have to whip out cash for that.
Yeah.
Right. Good trucks to look for. Definitely recommend if you're into that design, and we'll definitely let us know what you think about what we are talking about here. And I think I'm gonna post some pictures of things that we've been talking about. I want to make it as informative as possible, as entertaining as possible, because we are definitely we like those, and I think it would be nice to see if we get some traction with viewers and people like
car guys or
finding out about specific models and specific trucks. Because there's so many models I want to talk about and learn, because as
this is just a start. Yeah,
we're learning about those, and we definitely could do that. It's also with new engines. I've been new trucks. I've been getting hit about, hey, can you guys talk about Cascadias, all that stuff. We'll get there. We'll pick a model and some specs and talk about it, and we'll see how that's gonna go. So thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, share, and we'll talk to you soon.